Now, certainly what I've been doing is trying to say, can we take all the studies that we know of in our business, and certainly there are many, and see what's up this end in terms of what influences student achievement? What's the zero things? What makes no difference at all? And what things decrease achievement? And I want to start with looking at structural things. And I'm going to suggest to you that many of the things on this list dominate our debates about education. We have to give more money. We have to fix the class size. We have to do ability grouping. We have to come up with different kinds of schools and charter schools, yeah? So, what do you think the effect of those are? Do you think they're going to be above the 0.4 or below the 0.4? I've got 200 different things, so where would they rank? Well, I can't find a single structural effect that's greater than 0.4. The majority of things that we debate in education don't matter much. And I say we because I include teachers in that along with the rest of us. The structural things, yeah, we need to get them right. But in terms of the hierarchy of this business, nah. So what about these ones? What about some attributes of the students? We all know that if only schools had the right students, life would be easy. So you can see some of the attributes up there. So what do you think their effects are? Greater than 0.4 or less than 0.4? Does it matter who the kids are? No. What works in our business works for most kids, if not all kids. It's very hard to find differences. What about programs? Now, I say here deliberately deep programs, because this is what you hear all the time. You've got to have problem solving. You've got to have deep thinking. You've got to have individualized instruction. You've got to have problem-based learning. You've got to match kids' learning styles with their teaching. So what do you think? No. They don't matter. And I want you to remember this because I'm going to come back to this in a moment. Technology. Oh, come on. All we need to have is laptops and technology, and then things will be marvelous. Now, you know the answer, don't you? No. And the interesting thing about technology is that we've been doing these researches now for almost 40 to 50 years asking the impact of technology. And the common claim is, but wait, the technology revolution, it's coming upon us. This new thing is going to come out, this new app, this new internet, whatever. Well, for the last 40 to 50 years, that effect size has not changed. Technology is the revolution that's been coming for 35 years. And it's not here yet. Okay. These are the kind of things that I would argue are the politics of distraction. The kind of things that we talk about in our business so often, which means we avoid addressing what really matters in schools. And I get so frustrated when you read the media, when you listen to the debates, everywhere, in classrooms, in staff rooms, in professional development sessions, particularly in the media, particularly amongst our politicians, they want to solve these things. Why? Well, one reason, simple. You can see a lot of these things. You're not going to be able to see easily what's on the other side of the equation. And so one of my missions in this TED Talk today is, can we, when we hear these kind of discussions, ask those people to go into another room so we can talk about what really matters? Let's get to the good story. Now, the first thing with those numbers, you can see, they're dramatically different. And my point is that the biggest effect in our business is expertise of the teachers. It's the teachers who work together. I'll say that again. Teachers who work together, collectively, collaboratively, to understand their impact. And that's probably the biggest, single most factor in this business, that teachers and principals and systems that go into classrooms, that go into schools, that go into systems who say, my job is to understand my impact, are the ones that have the biggest effect. Understanding very clearly in every lesson and every day what the student knows already. Because that's the starting point to then say, now we need to know what success looks like. So you don't go in there and just create a set of interesting materials that I hope every kid has some point of starting point, knowing deeply where a kid starts. But it's also showing the students up front what success looks like as they're beginning this task. Could you imagine if I said to you, now I'm going to take you out and I'm going to play this game. I'm going to ask you to play this game, but I'm not going to tell you the rules. Now, some of you would sit on the sidelines. Some of you actually might get in there and try the game. But you could imagine chaos wouldn't long be out of the picture, and certainly many of you would start to drift away from it. Well, some of our kids in our schools love playing that game. They'll do anything we ask them to do. But there is a large group of students out there, the ones that often question, the ones that we often call sometimes the naughty kids, because they don't play the game we want them to do. The more you can show them what success looks like as they're starting. It's a bit like a video game. If those of you like me who have been through the Angry Birds fetish, it knows exactly what your prior achievement is, your last score. It then sets a target, a goal, a success, kind of using the Goldilocks principle, not too hard, not too easy. And then it piles in feedback and information and gives you multiple tries. A lot of deliberate practice you put into it to reduce that gap. And then what happens? They increase the standard and they increase the success. And you want to reinvest and reinvest. It's no different in our schooling, except the critical difference is that so often in our schools, the students don't know what success looks like in the series of lessons. Errors, mistakes. Hey, what's the point of going to school if you know it already? The reason you go to learning is because you don't know. And not knowing is an incredible opportunity. And how can we get our schools and our classrooms to create climates with a lot of trust so that it's okay to make mistakes and errors? Maximising feedback to teachers. How can we get teachers to get feedback about their impact? That's the point of assessment in schools, to help teachers understand their impact.